All right, hey, welcome back. I'm Great Grandpa BB. This is the show. We're going to talk about some Jubileego today. I'm here with my friend Joshua Ott.
Hello.
Hey, hey. And, lots of things going on. Like, we got some hard-working Americans here. That's what I always thought we had in common, man. Like, we're always just doing 1,000 things at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're just always showing up and always just doing things and lending a hand. And like, we're in your shop right now. Like, I feel like a million things are happening here all the time. And
It is.
you know,
It is.
we're throwing a big show at the Water Bottom stage on Saturday, next Saturday on the 21st of August here, and that's gonna be at the Water Bottom stage. You and Kevin Overmeyer built that stage about almost a year and a half ago now.
Yeah. It was pretty much on a whim.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I need a stage. And we're like, okay, we can do a stage. We can make that happen.
Yeah, right. That was the first time I ever seen like the chalk lines before. Like,
I've told that story to a few people, okay? My buddy whose mind was blown when he saw a chalk line being used. It just works, man. It just does.
I use, real big yardsticks and tape measures, straight edges.
Right.
Of all kinds, but my mind was definitely blown that day on how amazingly easy this was, I need to be on more construction sites, apparently. I'm not sure, but
You should see what a laser does, man.
yeah. Using these lasers. But so this is really going to be one of the first shows back, the actual first show back since the shutdown, the lockdown, the plague. And
who was the last to play there?
I believe it was Aiden Ash, Lavelle Douglas,
Yep.
and
There was a group that came through with a painter. The woman was painting.
Yeah.
Girlfriend painted while they played.
Yeah, and that was
really good.
Yeah, that was the show before that, and I think that was
Okay.
Vinyl Pocket Vinyl.
Mm.
I think it was Pocket
Yes.
Vinyl, and Midnight Brothers played for sure, and also another cassette, something with cassette tape in the name maybe, or I wear their shirt all the time. But yeah, that was a really good show too. Go back in the scrolls and you'll find information about that. But I'm just happy to be back, man. Happy to be back throwing shows again at the Water Bottom stage in Norwalk, Ohio, in beautiful downtown, sunny bottom of the hill.
The Water Bottom.
I'm putting a lot of showmanship into this one. I feel like this is like a straight commercial for Jubileego this year, You're one of the organizers of Jubileego.
Yep, one of the 5 now.
5 of us.
Yep.
Yeah. You meet Mark Grabus doing all the artwork and the website. We got Jamie Bishop always doing all the vendor work and everything else. Corey Webb's at the radio station now. You're our construction consultant, and also you're going to be hosting this year, right?
Yep. I've taken on the role as a host to MC, kind of to give to kill some time in between the bands and also introduce the bands as they respectfully should be introduced. So.
Yeah. You always need somebody out on the microphone, saying the word sensational and amazing.
Amazing. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, you're gonna hear that a lot.
As we should, You have big shows like this. You should make it big, even
though it's light this year.
It is. It's Jubileego Light. It's only a one-day festival this year. September 25th. Indian Trail Campground, Fitchfield, Ohio, 8 miles south of Norwalk, Ohio. Be there. We can't shake you up if you're a square and you're not there, man. Oh, man, that was a good one.
Falling off my chair here.
But yeah, so barbecue Saturday the 21st of August. We got the water bottom stage. I'm gonna be playing for at least an hour or more until the tenants show up and pull off their honky tonk country folk songs that are great for dancing. And then at the end of the night, backstop it with some stoner rock by Flock of Moons, which is a brand new band from Akron. Got Joe Kidd on the drums from the old Gruff of the Buzzer band, and also Colton Hoffman from Time Cat, and someone else I met the other night, but I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. I can't wait to see him again though, because he's on bass and was killing it. Yeah, so that should be a great night. We got Tons of Barbecue by Josh Villa, the Pig Vicious barbecue gonna be in the house with probably about 14 different grills going at the same time, I'm sure. Like all the fixins. Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be fun. It was a lot of fun a couple years ago. I'm just glad to be back with people again.
Right.
You know, got the piano in the shop. Put tons of chairs in there. Should be a party. Like people have been asking about having a party at the water bottom for a while. But yeah, we're raising funds. $15 a plate. All the money goes to, running the festival and paying the bands. Which the bands at Jubilee go, right?
let's get to them.
You're playing.
I'm going to be playing in between the sets.
Yeah.
I'm not taking a slot this year, which is great. I'm taking the MC pretty serious, so
nice.
I'm just going to be playing a song or two in between sets, letting the stage manager do their job, getting set up, and once they give me the go-ahead, I'll introduce the bands and get the ball rolling.
Nice.
Yep.
I think we're looking at about 8 to 10 bands this year, so that should be around about maybe that many in between sets kind of thing.
Okay.
I know I have Kevin Overmeyer as one of those. That'll take some heat off of you.
Sets in between.
Yeah, yeah. There might be a couple more that join you for that role too.
Okay.
But I don't know who they are yet, and a couple people haven't gotten back to me yet. But all the main bands are pretty much booked. Your classic Midnight Brothers and Mr. Moon. And then the Tenants and Flock of Moons. And then we got some new bands this year besides Flock of Moons. The Stereotypes, and they're from up in Huron. They're some younger dudes, but they've come out with like 5 albums, I guess. And they're pretty solid. And then Lauren Prey, who I love, and her band is always amazing. They feel like her rhythm section reminds me of like Blind Melon from like the 90s in a way.
Ooh.
Yeah. And she is like not like Blind Melon, but complements it in an interesting
in her own way.
Yeah, yeah. Which I really like a lot, and I'm really happy that they're gonna jump on board this year. I wanted them last year, but to no avail as far as no shows happened last year.
Right.
So.
And what time have we decided on a time to kick off, or when it's
Well,
start? Or is that dependent on how many bands?
Yeah, we'll be going till midnight, and then we'll have 8 to 10 bands. So 8 hours out. We'll probably be from midnight, right? Like
That's
4 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah.
Tentatively here, and it's all suggested donation for the tickets this year. It's all going to be $10, and we'll put that at the merch table. You can buy T-shirts and hoodies and stickers and all the things that we do, provided kindly by Hi Buddy clothing company and merchandise, founded in 2015. At the old Great American Treat when we had our first T-shirt, me and Corey Webb designed one year.
That was the very first.
That was the first one, yeah. Because it was like, we decided to do like a red, white, and blue shirt with monsters on it, and C-Web's like, hey, draw a monster, I'll draw a monster, and we'll put them together on the same shirt. And then we just made like the caption be in these like bubbles above us. It just said "Hi, buddy," you know, because
buddy.
yeah. So that was like the
That's
"Hi,
how
buddy"
it's-
shirt, you know.
That's how it started. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have any of those left in stock for sale?
We probably
for
do.
Some vintage prices.
Yeah, yeah. We got a lot of shirts
High
from
commodity,
back catalog Hi Buddy shirts. I need to just build a catalog, like make a zine with a bunch of weird writings in it and like a bunch of advertisements for old shirts that I have. That'd be pretty epic. I know Jazz Gonzalez was gonna make a zine. I don't know if it'll be out before Jubilee Go, but shout out to Jazz. She should put an advertisement for Jubilee Go in there. I will buy a spot. I will buy an advertisement spot in your zine, Jazz.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a very special podcast today. Just kind of running through the festival here. This is basically the two-man meeting because the rest of the crew couldn't get together. All of the other organizers are busy today here.
This is what we usually do at a Jubilee Go meeting. Just kind of sit around a table. And
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
that's it. That's it. There's usually a light shining in your face. Camera somewhere. Gravis has been doing the video thing, so there's a video somewhere.
Hey guys, I'm not showing up, but I'll be on the video. Right on.
Okay.
Let's do that. Everybody's been remote. Everyone's on Zoom. Everyone's on hiatus here. We don't have office spaces anymore. Everyone's in the cloud.
Sounds comfortable.
Right? Yeah. Like beanbag
Where's
chairs
your
in the
office? In the
90s.
cloud,
Yeah.
man.
They
You
used-
sit down? No, I just lean back. It
Corporate-
just holds me there.
Corporate used to buy us beanbag chairs. Now we're like.
Now they're a cumulus.
Sometimes it's Cirrus. Sometimes nebulous. Nimbus. Some kind of.
Yeah.
No thunderheads very
The
often.
serious
but-
meetings, it's always Stratus.
Yeah.
Stratus for
We
sure.
have Thunderhead meetings are coming in. The corporate giants are coming in today. They're gonna lay down some giant thundering announcements here. Man, that sounds real. That sounds like that people sounds like corporate would actually say something that's like
Yeah, that would be in the memo.
yeah. Oh man.
Do not reply all to, you know.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the artwork this year, man. Jubilee Go Light. I think we're all going like beer logos, you know, like one color prints, beer logos, like Bush Light, Jubilee Go Light kind of logo thing going on. Or so I hear. I haven't even seen it yet, you know.
It's done though, right?
Supposedly. Yeah, it's supposed to be by the end of the week. It's already Thursday.
I'm excited to see it because I really dig what Graves comes up with.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
He's come up with some good shit, man.
Some doozies, man.
The astronaut thing was pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, that was the first Gravis year too.
Yeah.
Astronaut with the Stratocaster.
Yeah. And then a big monster over the campground.
That was year 2 of the Gravis.
That might be still hanging up on my refrigerator.
That's a mural on a wall in
What?
a studio. Yeah, you haven't seen that?
No.
Go check out the podcast that I did with Joe Kidd. Came out probably a couple months ago. But we did it in his basement because his buddy came over and found the poster for Jubilee Go from that year, like hanging on his wall or something. He's just like, man, I found this poster of this awesome monster, so I just drew it on your wall.
Jeez. Oh yeah, that's Jubilee Go poster right there.
Yeah. It's
That's cool.
immortalized on that wall and in that podcast that we did.
Yeah.
We put up a bunch of just old Edison bulbs all over the place in the background while we did the podcast that day.
Mhm.
That was pretty great. Like, what's crazy about that podcast was, like, I showed up. I hadn't seen Joe in, like, a year or something, so we had a lot to talk about, you know?
Sure.
And I got there around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We did the podcast, like, an hour later, and then I didn't leave until about 1 o'clock at night, and we just continued to talk. It was like we continually talked for, like, 12 hours straight, just hanging out at his house. Like, we were talking for about 5 or 6 hours straight, just the two of us, and then his girlfriend finally came out into the living room, and then the whole thing got re-sparked, you know? And then we were talking for a while, and then, like, and it's like, hey, do you want a beer? It's like, all right, cool. And then we're talking for hours after that, you know?
It happens, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, it was great. It was a good time, you know?
I mean, last time you came to visit, we ended up
Yeah.
doing some D&D shit.
Yeah. Not DMT, like a Rogan
No,
show.
not It was definitely D&D.
D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah,
Yeah.
some
Making some characters and
some Dan Harmontown shit happening.
yeah.
You know about the Harmontown and all that?
I don't know what that Dan Harmon did. He did a D&D-esque type show.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he called it.
He's done episodes on Community, and he did episodes on Rick and Morty that were very and he had his own D&D show. I think it was just called Harmontown, or it was a movie.
There was something else that I watched too, where guys were sitting at a table.
Yeah.
And they were playing a D&D game, but they couldn't say D&D. They couldn't call the guy a dungeon master.
Okay.
He was a game master.
Okay.
And they rolled differently.
Yeah.
But he would have celebrities on.
Okay. Yeah.
Like guest star. Ethan Blankenship got me on that. So he...
Commissioner Gorblin, for those in the know.
Yeah.
That was a good night.
Yeah, that dude's pretty good.
Yeah, he's funny, man. And
he knows people.
Yeah, I know.
And like,
he knows how to tell a good story.
Yeah.
He's like a fantastic storyteller. And that's how I know about Dungeons and Dragons the most, is through
him.
Yeah. And that's why I've come to like it in ways. Like, I know somebody was analyzing the way that he played one night, and he was like, yeah, a lot of times people will be like, oh, well, and then a monster pops out, and then what do you do? And the guy's like, I'm going to fight him, and I'm going to roll the dice with this spell, or whatever he's doing.
Right.
And then Dan Harmon gets to him.
You have no idea what you're doing.
Right, yeah. I've never actually played, not as of yet. I have, but Dan Harmon's response is, he's like, what are you going to do on your turn? And he's like, I'm going to turn around and run the other way, you know?
Right.
And it's like, in doing that, he's like opening up like a whole backstory of himself about how he's like...
why he would run.
Yeah. He's like emotionally compromised because of something that reminded him of his dad. And then he like delves into this whole backstory about this character that he's creating kind of on the fly, based off of his reactions to what's happening, you know?
That's cool.
Yeah. I've always liked that kind of aspect of like possibility in it, you know?
And the way I play to use things that are unconventional to fight with, or to tackle a situation. I try to come up with the most obscure way of doing things.
Yeah.
That's what's fun to me.
Yeah.
I do like killing monsters and dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the time comes, there's a place for it.
Hell yeah.
But we don't need to talk about D&D. We can get back to Jubilee Go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we hit that at the top of the show, I don't know, but yeah, I feel like whoever's watching now is like, oh, what's these guys doing? What's happening in life right now? It's hot. It's the hottest day of the summer today. So we're in a hot shop here, we got air conditioner.
But it's still hot.
Yeah.
It is. It's still hot.
I'm drinking some iced coffee. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I woke up this morning. I was late to a piano lesson. I probably shouldn't even say that out loud, but
It's not good advertisement.
No, not really. Hey, but I do teach piano lessons.
I'm usually on time.
I'm always on time, except for today. That was I had a new phone. I didn't have my alarm the way that I thought it was. What are you gonna do? But they were super cool. Yeah. I don't know. I love teaching piano lessons. I started really in the winter, for the first time, and just kind of gauging
Really? So that's new for you?
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been more of a student, but man, I've studied piano for a long time. I studied it in college 17 years ago is when I started playing piano.
Right.
And then when I went to my next college, I actually bought a piano like a weighted key piano, and like just had it in my kind of dorm, so to say.
Weighted key piano.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
To give it a more realistic feel.
Yeah, to make it feel more like a regular, like real piano. They have like
a thing.
yeah, they have weighted keys and they have semi-weighted keys, and then they have like what they call like synth action or waterfall keys, which is like waterfall keys
That
is like
sounds amazing.
right. I know.
Waterfall keys.
That's what you would find on an old Hammond B3. Okay.
But if you listen to TLC, I mean, they'll tell you to don't go chasing.
They don't. Yeah, they stay away from Hammond B3 organs, and they run towards the old style piano keyboards. Is what they do. Little tenderness, love, and care. Is that what that means? Or?
Don't even know. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're building amazing things in this shop. Let's talk about that for a minute, huh?
Really? You want to talk about this?
Yeah, you have like you're an inventor. Yeah,
Well,
I was telling people about you the other night.
Yeah, I went. I designed a tool for the oil and gas industry, and
Yeah.
started with that. And the tool that we're building now kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
I worked with a team to design it from a gas company, and
Nice.
I'm not going to sit here and say that I made this thing,
Mm-hmm.
or that I in this this is happening just because I'm awesome. Because
you could see through. You could read between the lines on a thing.
well,
you know?
it was hard work
Yeah.
dealing with the gas company and the team that I was working with to design it. But
I imagine.
in the end, it took maybe 6 months, and they finally approved of the tool, and we're in here making it.
Hell yeah.
My guys are doing an amazing job. I hired out of the union hall that I belong to.
Nice.
So I got guys who are qualified right off the bat.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people, they might say that I was foolish for, unions expensive. But
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to tell you they're worth it.
Oh, nice.
I
Yeah.
believe I was worth it when I'm working.
Yeah.
But I will attest that the guys that I have here are doing an amazing job. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't be where I am with the product that I have out the door if I didn't have them. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's really
they're
cool.
They're definitely worth it. Give a shout out to my guys. They're doing a great job.
Yeah,
So.
I support unions, man. Like I think that it's a great thing. I think that when people are paid what they're worth, they're gonna do the work that's more substantial and what it actually is. They're gonna put a good effort forward, and it's gonna create value more so than if someone's being undervalued.
Mm-hmm.
Just inherently right off the bat.
Well, I mean, we can go down this rabbit hole right now. I didn't know where this was leading.
Yeah. I like
you
that
just give me
topic
the
a
wink,
lot.
like
Yeah,
if,
yeah.
if this is a go ahead because we can go down this hole.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
I just think that over the time, like our minimum wage is we didn't keep up with it. We
No.
didn't keep up with it, and
No.
it came to a point. I have so much respect for fast food workers.
Yeah.
There,
Yeah.
I said it.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
said I don't care what anybody says. They want to say like, oh, you just work at McDonald's.
Right.
Dude, them people are hustling, man.
Yeah.
You go there at noon
Mhm.
and expect to get your food within 5 minutes
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah.
Dudes are hustling
It's
back
not
there.
easy. Uh-uh.
And then when they like stood up and were like, hey, we need to, our wages need to be so much. Everybody's like, oh, you're just a fast food worker. I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's because our wages haven't kept up the way they should have, and
Yeah.
now we're stuck in this position where if you make that big jump,
Yeah.
then you get criticized.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
you're not worth it.
Yeah, and they'll
So.
cite, well, the small businesses won't be able to keep up and all of, blah, blah, blah. But, there's some countries that just, like, inflation happens over time, like, regardless of what we're doing. And that means that the price of things are just going to increase over time.
Mm-hmm.
And if we had linked our minimum wage to the inflation rate, like,
Yeah,
it would be a
we'd probably be at, like,
smoother-
18.
yeah,
say.
it'd be $18 somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
that's my guess.
Yeah,
I'm not-
I've heard people say even up to 26, which
Yeah.
is probably not true, but also perspective, right?
yeah.
Anywhere between 18 and 26, I would say, is probably about where it should be right now.
Mm-hmm.
And and that would be amazing. And then you also have to factor in like in other countries, like how much do they pay fast food workers? You know, like because they're getting paid $22 an hour
like
in a McDonald's in Denmark and in Germany.
No shit.
And and it's like I think that their Big Macs like cost 25 or 50 cents more or something like that. But it's like, okay, well,
the company is still making a lot of money.
Oh my God, they're making an incredible amount of money.
Right.
They just don't want to like lose money in the American market where they're making like bank. They're making just mad amounts of money off of us.
Amount.
Yeah, off of people that aren't getting paid enough to even have an apartment and things. It's like they're just expected to live at their parents' house and get food stamps just to work that job.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like...
I will say this, that, you know, we're in a time right now, like, I'm a welder, but I'm also, I'm a pipe fitter, but I weld.
Yeah.
The welding isn't necessarily a trade, it's a skill for many trades.
Right.
You know, many trades have welders.
Right, true.
But the trade that I worked in was pipe fitting, and I did some pipeline work too, but there's a lot of places out there that are saying, hey, we need welders. Everywhere needs welders.
Yeah.
For whatever it is. I was able to find the workers that I needed. I did right now.
Yeah.
And I'm paying them.
Exactly.
And it's expensive.
Right.
I'm not going to try to say it's not.
Yeah.
You know, from when you look back at you know, if I look back at my financials and what I'm paying out, it's expensive. But I still think it's worth it.
Yeah.
So.
Because at the end of the day, like, what are you really trying to do? Like, create like wealth for a bunch of people that don't really need it in the stock market and like corporation wise or otherwise? It's like, do things even need to be that big, you know? Or can you just like have a small business, like we could have many small businesses across the country making different types of cola, you know, like same way we do like craft beer kind of thing, but there's really only 2 companies making cola in this country, you know. You're right. Yeah, exactly. It's like super weird that we even do that. I don't know. I mean, and that goes with just everything across the board. I don't know. Like, I think that mass manufacturing creates an atmosphere, an environment where like employees get the shaft a lot of times because they don't even meet the boss at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, they're so far down the line and being even connected to the company. You know, I don't know. I've really never gotten into any of these topics on this podcast before, honestly.
First.
Yeah, so it's kind of fun for me. I don't know. I listen to a lot of the arguments on all this stuff a lot, and I think that across the board, at least left and right, a lot of people are agreeing with like the fact that, hey, there's a lot of people getting a lot of billionaires and a lot of, you know, like big wigs and that aren't respecting their employees, you know, in a lot of ways. It's and I think that crosses both lines. I think that the oldest argument in the book is that from the beginning of civilization, once you start what you call civilization would be like after we start agriculture, right? Once we start having like a surplus of like grains or something, like we have a ton of wheat or something, right, in a silo. At that point, you start distributing the wheat to a group of people, you know, and then whoever's in charge of that would then be considered wealthy, right? And so they start getting their way on things if they start, you know, like
using the power.
Yeah, they're using the power of this surplus,
right,
to say, hey, we'll give you this much more if you give us this or whatever, right? They start wheeling and dealing and things. Yeah, and then so it's all stemmed from that. I mean, we've come a long way, obviously, and it's nothing like that now, but it's always been this like idea of
it is kind of.
Yeah, and it's wealth and accountability. What if you have wealth, you can get away with anything you want, or can you, or should you be able to, you know? And who's going to stop who's gonna stop you? It's like, okay, well, yeah, but I also got all this money, so how about you take that and just shut up, you know? It's like that kind of thing.
Or the system,
Yeah,
whoever that is, doesn't want to put you under,
yeah,
because you're
greasing
in
the
all
wheels.
well, in all reality, you're in control of a monster that's, I shouldn't say monster, but
Yeah.
you're in control of something that's providing for a lot of families.
Yes. Yes.
So they don't want to, they want to continue. They want you to continue what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to get away with stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't want
That's true too.
anybody to think that I'm like against capitalism, because
Right.
I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
But like with workers, it's like in the union, because the union's not perfect. I'm not going to sit here and say that it is. It's not.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not for every place.
Yeah.
There's a certain place for everything.
Yeah.
But when it's like a cycle between rabbits and coyotes.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if you're aware of this.
Rabbits and coyotes.
Rabbit
cycle.
and coyote cycle.
Okay.
When the coyote population goes up, rabbit population goes down,
Right.
because they eat all the rabbits. Then they don't have anything to eat, so
Okay.
they starve out.
Yeah. And then
Coyotes
their
start
population.
dying out.
Yeah.
They go down. Rabbits come back up because there's no coyotes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
with workers, the way I see it, the union, workers get fed up with, hey, we're sick of the treatment that we're getting,
Yeah.
the pay we're getting,
Yeah.
and we're not working.
Yeah.
Screw you, we're done. And so the people that need them to work are like, all right, we're gonna have to back down,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they give them what they want.
Yeah.
Once that gets too high, because
Yeah.
if the union's too strong, it doesn't work either.
Yeah. It starts crushing.
If you got a bunch of people say, hey, I want $75 an hour,
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
and I only want to work 10 hours a week,
yeah.
it can go the other way, where the
Yeah.
people, they're like, own these companies, they're like, you know what, I'm out, I
Yeah.
can't do this,
Yeah.
I can't even afford this.
Too rich for my blood.
Right.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of cycle.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
yeah. I can see that.
And I think that's why the unions, when they started, that's why they started. It was at that point where, everybody was so low,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
working for nothing,
Yeah.
that they stood up, and now it's kind of just back and forth type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a logical approach. I know that, I mean, there's so much going on in the last year as far as all this is concerned. I know that there was a ton of West Virginian coal miners that went to New York City to protest BlackRock, just within the last month or so, because during the pandemic, they were asked, like the workers were asked to take like a $6 pay cut straight up just to keep them afloat, But then, like, none of the top execs took any cut at all,
Right.
And then...
That's hard. That's
yeah,
hard to swallow.
Yeah,
hard
and
pill.
like that work isn't easy, and it's also dangerous, and people are dying doing it,
Yeah.
And so, they organized between a lot of those groups, and they all went to New York City, and they knew what they were protesting, because they like that BlackRock company got started making buku bucks all of a sudden again, and then didn't give anybody extra, to compensate,
Kickback.
No, yeah. Lots of things like that happening across the board right now. A lot of people waking up. There's a sea change happening. I know there's a huge general strike across the whole United States happening on October 15th, where people are advocating for people just not show up to work and people not buy anything that day. Uh-huh. Yeah, it's kind of being suppressed.
What are they hoping to accomplish?
Just to try to show the workers' power, I guess, in a way. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good start. I mean, when you have a guy like Bezos who makes $2,600 a minute, you know what I mean, or something like that. I mean, he made $64 billion last year. That's not even real amounts of money anymore, It's like saying he made $1 gajillion last year to to any rational person, because it's how can one person
$1 million.
yeah, yeah, what $1 million used to feel like back in the 40s.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, is he I don't. Is he wrong for doing what he's doing?
Um.
You know, that's what capitalism is.
Yeah, exactly.
But where do
And
you?
it feels wrong to a lot of people
What
because
would happen is people get fed up with it
yeah,
and then do something.
because he's not giving back anything. He's not
Yeah.
even paying taxes.
Because I don't think he's wrong. I mean, he built a company.
Yeah.
I'm sure it wasn't easy.
Right.
I've never been
Yeah.
in that position to have to go through the things that he's had to.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm sure it was pretty damn tough.
Yeah. Definitely.
And he
Definitely.
put a lot of hours into it.
Yeah.
But
But I know I pay more taxes than he does.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like at some point I was at I was at a place the other day, and I was doing my podcast over there, and there was this guy. He probably had some money. He said that he opened a golf course, right, for needy children to play golf on for free. Okay,
Okay.
and yeah, and that struck me in the same kind of way that you just looked. I was like, okay, like what, like I feel like there's better avenues that you could spend money to help people than to open a golf course for needy children who doesn't play enough golf. You know what I mean? You have all this land that you just, you know, I know George Carlin used to get real angry and upset about this whole topic of golf courses, and like you could build a ton of houses like Jimmy Carter does on this land. But instead, we're going to open it up for needy children to play golf on. It's like there's way more better avenues of like support for people, like food, shelter, clothing, otherwise, you know. To me, like it just seems.
I don't know. I still think it's kind of cool that he's doing it though. Sorry.
Right on. Right on. Fair
Like,
enough.
If he's willing to do that and give, I mean, he's given a taste.
Of the high life to
Yeah.
people can't attain it.
It's like the guy in California when the water shortage was going on, and he said that we shouldn't be forced to play on golf courses that are brown. Like I think you're a little spoiled, dude.
Yeah, right.
There's some
like
water shortage
yeah,
for like people that need it to live,
yeah, yeah.
and you want it for your golf course.
Exactly, exactly. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I think that we need to figure out electricity. I mean, like, there needs to be some kind of an initiative for clean energy. You know, like that's a
Well,
huge problem.
Definitely does.
Because I mean, if we can tackle that and nail that, then we don't have to worry about golf courses anymore either. You know, because then we could try to figure out how to control like the actual climate on the planet, and not have like in 30 years maybe we won't have a ton of like a 3-foot rise of the oceans, and then and like kind of thing. Because then you're talking about land usage, and you're talking about climate refugees, and like all of these other things that I mean we can mitigate. You know, like there's way bigger I'm just saying there's way bigger problems in the world we could be tackling. You know.
Yeah.
But they're so big that it probably just doesn't even register to them either. You know.
Well, it's like I saw a meme recently.
Okay.
You know, memes are just so strong of a thing. But
yeah.
it was like everyone was complaining about this, and there was all these issues, and it's coming from all these houses, and then there's a big wave that's coming in. It's climate change.
Right. Yeah.
It's like
it's like a political cartoon of the ages in a way.
It's like something that everybody just wants to act like it's not a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I've visited Alaska a few times. Well, a bunch of times because my brother lives up there.
Okay.
And I've seen it firsthand. Where
Yeah.
I went there in 2007 and saw the Exit Glacier in Seward.
Okay.
Okay. We went there, walked there, saw the glacier, touched it. It's right there.
Yeah.
You could see the water coming out the bottom of it.
Yeah.
It's cold.
Yeah.
Cool feeling. And we went there 2 years ago. I took my daughter to
2019. That's 12 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took my daughter up there for the first time, and my brother hadn't been there since then.
Okay.
To visit that glacier.
Wow.
and we went to the park and we start walking and we're walking up and up and he's like, man, I don't remember walking up. And I'm like, I don't either.
Wow.
I don't remember climbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're walking, and all of a sudden we got to the end and it overlooks the glacier.
Yeah.
And that glacier was from where it was to the top of it is half gone.
Wow. Wow.
In less than 10 years, that glacier will not be there.
No.
You will no longer, in 10 years, be able to go to Seward, Alaska and look at the glacier. It will be gone.
Wow.
You know, you're looking at temperatures up there. I mean, they're reaching temperatures in the 80s.
Yeah.
That are
Damn.
it's unheard of for them.
Yeah.
When I was there, I mean, people were like freaking out. Because they don't have like air conditioning that people
Wow.
for comfort.
Right.
Because they never needed it.
Yeah.
You just open a window.
That's
cool air
insane.
comes in. Like, and it was an eye opener. I remember my brother like looking at it and going, "Holy shit!"
Yeah.
He's like, "This is gone."
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking at. They're the people that I talked to, our friends up there. They mentioned we have never had ticks before.
Oh wow.
Because
yeah.
it's always been the weather, the climate that ticks can't
Yeah,
survive.
you can't even.
They're starting to see them in Anchorage.
Wow.
Ticks.
Wow.
Dude, it's just real.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, but we go into our
It's-
comfort lifestyle and we forget about it. We
Well,
overlook
and,
it.
and like, what can an individual do so much? You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, it's really the responsibility of people who like will profit if
The
they
people
ignore
that are
it.
going to space right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that what you're getting at?
It's like, well, let's just go to space and forget about the planet.
let's just burn
like,
a bunch of fuel
yeah.
to get to space and say that we were the first.
Let's have a space internet. Okay, let's
make
do
a
that.
penis-shaped spacecraft.
Fuck you, Bezos. Fuck you.
I got a penis spacecraft.
Yeah. This
Yeah,
is the most political this show has ever been, by the
Wow.
way. I love this.
Wow.
So like I've been thinking about
Here comes Jubilee go now.
right? Now let's get the brass tacks. All right. Let's save the planet at the same time. We had a solar energy festival a few years ago at the same venue.
76 thing.
Yeah,
70,
yeah.
yeah.
It was
I was not there.
76 in the shape of 16, so that was 2016 when we did that.
Right.
5 years ago. Wow, we had the Energy Bash. Solar powered energy festival.
And it worked out because it was sunny for you.
Yeah, it was sunny. That worked out great.
Which is a joke with solar,
Oh yeah.
but it shouldn't be overlooked.
No.
Yeah, it's a joke,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like
It's
let's call them out. But like,
real electricity.
you know, we purchased a Tesla as electric vehicle.
Okay.
A lot of people there's a lot of going back and forth of whether or
Oh,
not
yeah.
that's going to save our planet. No, it's not going to save our planet.
No, not.
Okay.
There's no one
It's not.
silver bullet. You know.
Yeah, we're still burning some type of petroleum to
Yeah.
gain the energy.
Coal.
If it's not
Mostly
created,
coal.
Yeah, if it's not created by
Mhm.
an alternative
Yeah.
source.
Natural gas too is the other one.
It is. Sure, it's cleaner.
Yeah.
But we're still burning, and it's
Yeah.
not an endless supply.
No.
But
We got like I think 50 years of coal, 40 years of oil.
which is not long.
No.
It's
That's
not-
like that's how old. Like,
I might even
yeah.
last that long.
Yeah, I
You
know. Like,
I'm hoping to.
yeah, definitely.
And it's possible.
And like all of our kids are definitely going to be still around.
But-
Like that's
Before I lose this thought, my uncle he said our infrastructure
Mhm.
cannot support everyone to have an electric vehicle,
no. Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, let's fix that.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Let's not just use that as an excuse to not go forward
Yeah.
with the thinking to help fix this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now. Yeah, and that's dealing with our power grid that we have currently.
Right.
We like.
For someone to charge their vehicle every night.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a subdivision that's full of houses.
Yeah.
If they were all charging,
Yeah.
pulling off that grid, it's a lot of power.
It is. It is.
You know, for all the vehicles that are out there.
The best way we can go about it right now is if you buy an electric car, buy yourself solar panels for your house too.
Or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That way you can at least, power your car. But like you have batteries.
It's gonna give you an offset.
Yeah.
You're
Hmm.
still gonna pull from the grid,
Yeah. Yeah.
which Tesla has done pretty good with offering solar panels
True. With the
reasonably.
power walls
Yeah.
the battery backup that you have in your house
Yeah,
and things like that.
and they offer rebates if you have the car. Like,
Yeah.
they're doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
They're not going to be perfect.
no,
I know that Toyota, even though Toyota is moving forward with their research and development on the solid state battery,
okay,
they're releasing that this year, but they said the same thing that you just said about our power grid not being able to sustain like electric cars if everyone has one.
right.
So they're going ahead with battery technology that's going to be light years ahead of even lithium ion that we have now, which is fantastic. But using those batteries, that'll also help create the infrastructure I think that we need. Now, the other side of it is sure we can create all the storage, with solid state batteries, but also how do we actually creating the energy? How are we creating the electricity? And that's where things get dicey, because even if we start just going all wind and all solar, because wind and solar together is really nice. When it's cloudy, it's usually windy,
Sure.
and vice versa.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
so those two things work together well. The problem is when even if you create a solar panel from scratch, you're still producing some emissions when you're building the solar panel.
Yeah, the semiconductor plant
Yes.
is putting a lot of emissions out.
Yes.
And when they go bad, you're also looking at
Yeah.
it's not perfect.
Uh-uh.
It-
But as compared to coal has
What-
this many emissions and solar has this many, but it's
Right.
still something.
But what drives me nuts is when somebody just wants to discredit it,
Oh yeah.
and it's like, no, there's more to it, man.
Yeah.
Look into it a little more than that,
Yeah.
than just going back to just burning fossil fuels.
And then there's nuclear fusion, which
Oh boy.
right.
Here we go.
Now, nuclear fission is what we've been doing since the 50s.
Mhm.
And that's what people are afraid of because of Fukushima in Tokyo, over in Japan, and then
Oof.
3 Mile Island in Russia, and several others. And that's scary to people because we built those reactors in the 50s, and they were really only qualified to work for about 30 years. And then you're in the 80s, and then that's when things start breaking down because that's what they said was going to happen, right?
Right.
But like once we built the infrastructure, we couldn't shut it down, and it takes years for it to shut down.
Right.
So yeah, it's a double-edged sword when it comes to that. And then people.
It is definitely a huge source of power.
Yes, yeah, and it's all clean power too.
Unless it goes bad.
Unless it goes bad, unless you don't shut it down when you're
But-
supposed to shut it down.
But there's also different types of plants too that are more safer, like
Yes.
a pebble bed that
Yes.
uses inert gas over to transfer the heat.
Okay, yeah.
Which actually, a pebble bed nuclear power plant can shut down like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom.
Exactly.
Shut down. There's
That's
not
amazing.
this long process.
Yeah.
That where, in Russia and even it was in New York. Wasn't there one in New York that? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably. I don't.
There was. But
But that's where we are now. Like
Yeah.
our technology now, like our fourth and fifth generation reactors, are completely differently engineered and designed than they were in the 50s. And
Right.
and like you're saying, like they can shut down on a drop of a dime now because
But there isn't any new. And I only know this because as a pipe fitter, I remember there was a couple plants that they were building. Peach Bottoms, I think, was one of them in Tennessee.
okay.
And that could be totally wrong. So if anybody
Okay.
fact checks me, that could
Right.
be totally wrong.
Yeah.
There were maybe it was in Georgia, but there was a couple plants that had been mothballed, even
Okay.
up in Cleveland.
Yeah.
The second half to what's the plant up there, Perry? The second half to that plant was mothballed.
Oh, damn.
They were working on it. They were building it, and shut it down.
Oh,
and
wow.
I've walked through it because I worked at some nuclear power plants.
Okay.
And I walked through it where there was pipe hanging in racks that were supposed to have another piece welded to it to continue, but they just stopped.
Wow.
Like a ghost town in it.
What?
But there was a couple of them that they tried to get going again, and I honestly don't know if they're running. But
okay.
We have stopped.
Yeah.
We have stopped going forward with nuclear.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that sense.
Wow. That's sad too, because that seems like the answer to a lot of this too. You know, to me at least, because
I think it could be a short answer, but the waste thing.
Or at least, it could be a big part of the answer, you know, because I mean that's a lot of electricity, and I mean we're running out of time, we're running out of possibilities, and I mean there are massive forest fires happening in Africa right now, just like entire continent, like countrywide forest fires. I just found out about it yesterday.
Oh shit.
Yeah. There's forest fires happening sporadically around the world right now.
Well, I mean,
but in like
it does happen naturally. Too.
Yes, but these are pretty wild. Yeah. These are like the entire country is on fire, like in Africa, and like southern, like not South Africa, but just
more than it does in a cycle.
Yeah. It's really crazy, and when that happens, like. Outside of the normal like that, like I mean that's like carbon capture that we have. That's our carbon capture technology. It's trees and old growth forests largely, and in the oceans
because it's pulling it and
yeah, exactly.
I get it.
And so the only other route that we have is to actually physically do carbon capture with electricity and with basically huge filtering systems. That we have the technology to do that, but the electricity is the thing. Because if we're just using electricity that if we're running those things off of coal power plants, it's completely we're shooting a lot of carbon up in the air with the electricity that we're using to pull carbon out of the air.
Right.
And it's okay, well. It's a self-defeating...
Well, here's my question.
Okay.
Why have we gotten away from hydro?
Well, I don't know if, we're using hydro to a great extent still.
Okay.
But, we kind of took the greatest sites already, and we've already,
tapped into it.
We've tapped them all out, I'm sure. Because anybody who has property rights will sell it to that and make a shit ton of money.
But what about on a small level?
Okay.
So if you have a creek by your house, on your property, what's to say you create a little generator that runs off that creek, given whatever that you're able to do so for the month that you're in.
Yeah.
Wintertime it's not going to work.
Right.
But something that's just turning a generator on your property that's feeding your house for whatever time you can get it.
Yeah.
You're going to offset the big picture of what you're drawing from the grid.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's completely possible. Mm-hmm. I mean, as long as you have enough current in the stream that you're at,
right.
I know where I live there's a creek in our backyard, or at least my parents' place there. And I noticed
you wash your clothes there, dude. I can just picture you out there scrubbing away.
Got my washboard, chugging.
And miraculously, you have a spoon that comes up, and then you start making music. I've seen it. I've seen it happen.
Down in the river to pray, sung all about that good old day. I've been baptized.
Come on in, boys. The water's fine.
All my sins have been washed away.
What about that Piggly Wiggly you knocked up? Well, that's been forgiven too.
And
You know where I'm going
I
with
think
that.
I think you have it mixed up between the eyes of God and the eyes of the law.
Right.
Yeah, greatness. The old brother word.
So yeah, you were
Fantastic.
saying that creek probably
There's
wouldn't have
no
the
way.
force.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 days out of the year that would work at that
Yeah.
creek, but otherwise,
Even on a low level to charge your phone.
yeah, yeah,
Just it was creating 12 volt.
right, exactly.
And we'll dive even further. That your lights in your house are LED that
Right.
run on 12 volt.
Yeah, yeah. You just have
Oh,
complete
come on now.
efficiency across the
Come
board. Yeah, I mean it's
We
possible.
can solve a lot of things right now. B.
It's possible, but there's also hydroelectricity in the ocean too. You
Right,
know,
with
we
well, the currents.
wave tidal
Right,
power. Yeah,
right.
yeah. That's
Which
a
is
big
neat,
one.
Neat stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I dig that too. And there's a lot of ideas out there for sure, and I think that they are all any idea that you have is going to help. You know.
Right.
But I think that big picture wise,
you take all those ideas and they add up to a lot.
they do. Yeah,
What
exactly.
the hell?
Now to get a little bit farther out there, okay, like,
Oh boy.
so, Nikola Tesla had ideas. Okay.
Sure.
One of the ideas he had this like
He made a
crazy.
car, right?
What's that? Well, no, he didn't invent
Just
that.
kidding.
Yeah,
A Model
but
3, he
yeah,
made a
the
Model 3?
the actual man Tesla,
Right,
Nikola
right,
Tesla,
right.
not the company Tesla.
Right.
But I guess when he was like 12 years old, he had some kind of fever delirium, and like he went out in the woods and they just were letting him go out there to die basically. But he had this like vision of like what it would be like to have like an entire ring, like to build a ring around the actual Earth, okay? And to use, because the Earth is has an electromagnetic field around it. That's what keeps us safe from the radiation from the sun, basically. And so if you had a giant like conductive ring, you could basically turn the entire Earth into a motor or a motor generator, basically.
Jeez.
Right. And the way that you would there's two different ways that you could bring the electricity to Earth. One way being like a space elevator, where you actually have like a physical tether connected, and you would connect it in the ocean. You would have something floating in the ocean that's connected to, that ring basically. That way it's like dangerous, but also you're not around anybody to like cause a stir so much, right? Same thing with the other method is more dangerous as well. It's basically you're creating a ton of electricity in this ring, and then you're shooting it to Earth using microwaves. Okay, now they came up with this idea in the 80s, but it's actually being implemented right now in New Zealand, where like they're replacing large swaths of their old electric lines, like their old high voltage electricity lines that they have in New Zealand, are being replaced by this like microwave ray gun, basically, right? That shoots across the island, and they're like creating electricity here, and they're shooting it over here, right? Like, and that's what they're doing,
It's a giant wireless charger.
Yes, that runs 15,000 volts. 15,000 volts, right?
And what happens to anything living that gets it
Right.
in between?
Birds will fry. Anything that's
Jeez.
in there will fry for sure. But
For sure.
and that's why it's dangerous. But if you had that kind of ability and you shot it down to Earth in the middle of the ocean, like you're shooting it down, and you have like a platform in the ocean to absorb it, and then you have another thing to shoot rays, then that would be stable. You shoot at the land from there, and then the things on land would be stable, So that way you're not like risking anything getting hit, Right. Yeah. It's a pretty massive operation. It would be.
I just want to set up a generator
Yeah,
in a creek by my house.
yeah, I know, right?
Holy crap.
But the way that the population is rising, we're going to actually need more electricity than we're using right now in the
Sure.
near future.
Yeah.
Just the way it is now. Like our energy, I mean, consumption.
For our lifestyle.
Yeah, for our lifestyle. In
And-
America, I mean, we're using 25% of the world's resources like all the time, and we're only like
Constantly.
1/5 of the like 1/8 of the population.
Yeah, when they start westernizing. So to
Exactly.
speak.
Yes. Not because the population's rising, but also the lifestyles are increasingly demanding more electricity
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
So that's a factor. Both of those things combined with the whole idea of like, hey, like how are we like if we had a bunch of extra electricity, we could combat climate change in a more effective way as well. And so with all of those factors, we're going to need, a ton more of electricity really quick. So how do you do it? You know, a lot of people are talking about fusion, and that seems to be everybody's hope and dreams, but no one's really like had a working ability to do that yet. And then there's fission, and everyone's really afraid of that still, even though we have a better capacity. The other thing I thought of was like if we did nuclear and we did that in space and just shot it down, like right, because then at least if it melts down.
I don't like the whole shooting energy towards the Earth.
Yeah,
Scares the crap out of me, man.
Yeah, it's like the James Bond GoldenEye movie. You ever see that before?
It's been a long time. I just remember, I don't know. I remember a guy with gold teeth or something, or iron teeth.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a different James Bond.
That could be. Yeah, this is like around the
Bond
year 1999-ish,
Okay.
1998. There was a James Bond GoldenEye where they had like these like things in space that shot and like would destroy anything on the planet or whatever.
Like enemy, basically.
Yeah,
is what
yeah.
they
It was
were
like
using
it was
for.
Cold War,
Right.
hysteria kind of stuff still happening. But
And then Nintendo 64 came out.
Yup.
And
Yup.
the greatest game ever.
1996, rock and roll. Yeah, but I think
What-
that it could be done safely. Is what I'm,
What about a bunch of hamsters on wheels? I mean, if we're gonna talk, I mean,
Well, what about people going to gyms on treadmills, man?
There you go.
That's going to put off at least self-sustaining amount to keep
Right.
the gym going.
right, keep the lights on.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Have they ever done that somewhere?
I don't know, but I've always thought that was a great idea.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because they're actually using energy
Yeah.
to make you run.
You could hook up. You
Why
could
don't
hook
you
up
ride
the
a bike?
barbells to a generator and like lift like
Right, the more resistance, the more power
exactly.
you're creating.
Exactly. Like you could have
That'd be
people in
cool.
there lifting this thing with resistance all day, running generators.
Right.
Like that would be beautiful.
You get paid to go.
Exactly.
work out.
Exactly. You probably wouldn't get paid much, but it would
No.
be. I mean, at least you wouldn't have to pay $100 a month for a gym membership, kind of
Yeah.
thing. You know what I mean?
You get so many per kilowatt.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, I've always loved that idea. Yeah. I mean, we need to come up with something real quick, and I know that people have to know about this. Everybody, like the people in charge, have to definitely know about this. You know what I mean? Whoever's in like charge, right?
Yeah. Whoever that is.
That's what's crazy to me about it, is that like you run out of oil in 40 years. Well, even if we move to coal and electric cars, we won't have enough for 10 years after that.
Right, it's gone.
It's insane.
It's
Yeah,
gone.
yeah, exactly. So we got to do like regardless of what we do, in 50 years we're going to be doing straight nuclear. I think regardless of what we're doing, and I guess like what I'm saying is we need to mitigate the dangers of that the best way that we can possible. And I think that if we had something outside of the electromagnetic field of the Earth, that's the safest spot to put something like that. Unless we use like what you're saying, like safer nuclear fusion reactors and things that can shut down easily. I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot lately.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Would have never guessed. Had no idea we were going there with.
Yeah, I didn't know
tonight.
either. Yeah. It's
Wow.
It's always something-
Dude, that just happened.
Yeah, it did. break out some cigarettes here, man. Like,
So this Jubilee that's happening.
yeah. Jubilee is not as stressful as all of this.
Way more stress free.
Yeah, like if you're stressed out about that, come out to Jubilee because it's nothing to do with any of that. It's so great. You
It's a
just
time
listen to
where
bluegrass
you don't have to
music and
think
drink a
about-
beer,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Is there anything special going on at Jubilee Go? Like, I know in the past we've had the like the the paintings that you can stick your head through and get your picture taken.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there anything special that's going to go on that anybody
Well,
can look forward to?
What's special about this year is that it's actually happening.
Okay.
People
okay,
are
well,
already.
They want it. They want Jubilee
They're
Go.
foaming at the mouth for it
Oh, gee,
already.
they're
We're-
rabid.
We're all we're all
Bunch of
foaming
rabid
over here.
raccoons, man.
I'm foaming up just thinking about it, man. You know, I just want to be at a show. That's all I need. That's what I want. You know,
Right.
in my soul. Yeah, because I mean, everybody hasn't been at a show in like a year, you
Yeah.
know, and so any show is a good show at this point. If we can pull it off, and we don't get locked down before September 25th,
Right.
that's what I mean. If it happens, then it's happening, you know, and it's gonna be a good time. And just the fact that we all get to see each other, I think, is like the main thing right now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm aiming for. Yeah.
And just to promote Jubilee Go, if you've never been there,
Yeah.
Jubilee Go is a place where there's music playing.
Yep.
It's family oriented.
Yep.
It's fun for all ages.
It's gonna be camping.
A lot of time we've had in the past with 2-day events. We've had things that like around noon, you know, things for the kids,
Yeah.
little events, the pizza slams. Is there gonna be a
Pizza slam.
Is
Pizza
it happening?
slam.
It would have to
Pizza
be-
slam might happen.
If
Pizza
we're starting
slam.
at 4, it's gonna have to happen around dinner time.
Yeah. Well, we could start the whole show off with some pizza slam.
Oh wow. Well, but usually people are trickling in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would say 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah. we
The
might.
people involved will be very hungry at the time.
Yeah. If-
Very pizza
We'll
slam.
put the word out. If there's enough volunteers for pizza slam, we'll do
Okay.
it. How about
take
that?
a poll.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take a poll on Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
But so, very family oriented. I myself, looking back at the time, because I wasn't there for the first, I don't know, 2 or 3 Jubilee Goes. Not until it moved to Indian Trails. I wasn't a part of anything before Indian Trails.
Okay.
But just going there, if you don't want to be up by the bands and be in the mix, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Sit back. There's sites that you can get along that field, and you can sit back at a campfire with some friends, and you can still talk and listen to the music, live music that's local,
Yep.
that's happening right there in our area. This is where we live.
Yeah.
The Firelands.
That's what
It's
we do
happening.
best. That's what we do.
So, you know, even if you're not there to be in the mix, or if you are,
Yeah.
come up.
Well-
There'll probably be some straw bales somewhere.
Yeah.
There's always straw bales. It's a thing.
Yeah, have some straw bales and sit down for a while. You know, pull up a good chair. Yeah, it's always a good time. Man, I forgot.
Food.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few different food vendors. Sweets on the street. Sweets on the street is what they're
Yeah.
called, and
It's
they're
probably treats.
they're doing a lot of savory stuff too. Lots of sandwiches and different
Yeah.
really good foods. That, man, I'm hungry right now. Man, I
Just
could just
thinking
chow
about
down like in my mind. I'd eat that whole food truck right now. Like, but then we also got an ice cream truck
Ooh.
coming out that is working
That's
with Grow Pine Street, which is Boomer and Cassie's side hustle sprouts business that's happening.
Okay.
And they're producing, I think, some kind of herbs to go with the ice cream, kind of thing. And I know Boomer's gonna be presenting a some type of presentation at the festival as well. And then Lindsay is producing a ton of cookies, I believe, and coffee. So there's a lot of sugar gonna be there, and then
Yeah.
some savory. So, plan accordingly. Yeah, we'll have a bar, a donation bar set up as well. I'm thinking about bringing a whole refrigerator out there. I was thinking about it the other day. I got myself a campsite that's like just a couple down from yours, so I can run some power off of that one too.
Okay.
I
actually got two.
Nice. Okay.
I was creating a green
Perfect.
room for the bands coming on.
Perfect. Yeah.
And I tried to place it in the right position where they can kind of get psyched up for what they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before they go, and all their equipment and their shit's ready.
Yeah.
And then they can get all their stuff on in a timely manner.
Nice.
And then when they come off, they can do
Yeah.
the green room thing or whatever.
Perfect.
So that's what I was trying to create there.
I got a site technically for one of the food trucks, and then they didn't need it, so I have an extra one right now, and it's like I haven't given it up. I'm kind of thinking it might be just a good idea to have it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk about it in the next Jubilee meeting if we actually need it.
Even for the power.
Yeah, I was thinking about just setting the bar up there and like using that for the power, and maybe just setting a refrigerator out there, filling it up with beer, and like,
have somebody man it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know in the past we talked about getting a power supply, but I don't think it's important or I don't think it's necessary
for the stage.
No. Well, for the 1-day event.
Yeah. Yeah.
But maybe in the future, the next year, if we do the 2-day.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll look more into the power thing, but.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think especially if you have that, and then we have the green room power.
Yeah. Yeah.
To
we
pull
should
off
be solid.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, and even like if we go next year, we could just like get the site like that's closest to the stage and run power straight there.
Right.
I don't know why we didn't think of that before.
It's because we didn't have this. We didn't have this podcast.
Right. Yeah, the podcast is really like what brings the ideas together, man. I tell you what. Puts you in the moment, makes you think on the spot more. Yeah. So
it's the lights in your eyes that.
Yeah, it's the light. Yeah, you get a lot of stars in your eyes, and you're like start seeing the
vision.
The vision. It's what Woody Guthrie saw when he saw some Purple Mountain Majesties.
Amber waves of grain.
I was always a man. While we're talking hard work, I was always a man that liked to work and work of the hardest kind. I've been disgusted, busted, couldn't be trusted, but sometimes I woke up, didn't know where I was at.
Is that straight a Woody Guthrie quote?
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty slick.
Yep.
Unique fella.
Oh yeah, Woody Guthrie. He was always at the Cooley Dam. He's always singing about the Cooley Dam, and I think it's because dam is a lot more of a swear word back then than it is now. So like, I think he just. Yeah, I think he just wanted to say "damn" in a song, and it was like controversial or something. Like I figured that out. I was listening to him a bunch the other day, and I'm like, I think I'm on you.
Dude, that dude. I mean, he hung out with like Leadbelly.
Yeah. Holy God, that's insane. Like it's just like feels like
his house, like just crash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like even uninvited.
Wow.
He didn't care.
That's awesome. That's like how Nikola Tesla used to hang out with Mark Twain. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in his Colorado lab in Boulder, Colorado, where Nikola was Tesla was set up, and he had Tesla coils in his garage and shit. The whole town would be going whoa, like whoa, like blackout, like rolling blackouts in the town because they had like 1800s like power grid happening, And then Mark Twain stops by, and
just coming through.
Yeah. Gotta check out the laboratory. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so weird how like many different people have existed on the planet at the same time, and like there's so many things happening right now that we'll never even know about. Like there's 7 billion people on the planet. There's no way that we can know about a fraction of what's going on right now.
And our mainstream news media only cares about 2 different things.
The story and manufacturing consent. Yeah. How do we get these people to believe what we tell them? Yeah. It's madness, man. It always has been, and now it's like it's never been crazier. And we've always like predicated our whole system on like, oh well, as long as we keep growing our economy, everything will work out. But now it's like the growing the economy is the part that's fucking shit up. And like to put a blunter point on the situation, like you can't just grow things into infinity on a finite planet. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's
laws.
laws.
Laws of physics. Yeah.
You can't.
Thermodynamics. There's laws of thermodynamics. There's the law of conservation of energy. There's
Right.
it's just gonna shut this thing down. Anyway, I think that we have the ability to mitigate it, and there's possibilities of creating a better world, And I think that's why we're having Jubilee Go, man. Just to calm everybody down, man. Just calm down. We'll figure it out. We got this. We have the existing technology right now to save our own ass. It's possible.
At least for the weekend.
Yeah, at least for the weekend from September 25th, coming at you, 2021.
Yep.
This couldn't have gone any better.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hang it up? Have anything else to say?
I think this is a good wrap up right here, man.
Right on. Well, let's do it. Be there, be square, man.